Here come the boys. Y'all ready to go swimming, baby? Come on. Give it up. Get out of that water. I tried telling y'all, it's swim lessons, baby.
Hey folks, hope you're enjoying Swim Lessons, the podcast champion week. It's been a fun week thus far. My guest today is Mr. 300, aka Darin Mattern, the head boys basketball coach for Century High School. He's been there for a while, and he's had a very, very successful run as a head boys coach. And I really enjoyed talking with Coach Mattern because getting to know a guy, not only when he's coaching on the sidelines, but just as a person, it was special to me because he's a very insightful cat, very fun to talk to. Time flies when you're talking to a guy like Coach Mattern. And this year, they're the number one seed going into the WDA. They've been the number one team in the state so far. And I'm excited to see how they go because they've got great pieces with this team, a very, very, very good basketball team. So how will they go? How Coach Mattern has established this program. It's all in this podcast. And I really greatly appreciate his time in Century High School opening up the doors for allowing us to come in to film this podcast. Got a lot more coming at you here with Champion Week, but make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It takes like 10 seconds. If you're listening on Spotify, if you're listening on Apple, go onto YouTube and click the subscribe button. It's huge for me. It really helps us out here at Swim Lessons, the podcast. Appreciate you doing that. And I also appreciate these sponsors we have because they're a big part of our success. The first, the hat I'm wearing, PSP Network. It's game day, baby. They've been promoting local student athletes for a very long time. Right now, they're in the heart of tournament season and ways you can watch. Become a PSP Plus member. How you do that? How do you do that, Dallas? Well, let me tell you. You go to www.psp.network. Once you get there, you'll be able to click on which little thing you would like to buy. And right now, they're on sale, but the price is going to go up, and you're going to want to be a part of this WDA Boys and Girls Tournament. It is going to be phenomenal. But not only will they have that, hold the phone, they'll also have a bunch of regional matchups in both Class A and Class B. So I'm very excited for what PSP has to offer. And make sure you check out their YouTube as well. It's at PSP Network. And also their website, psp.network. Nick Holberg and his team do an amazing job. Looking forward to calling a few games in the WDA. And also we're going to have something special coming to the WDA tournament that I'm a part of that I'm excited to bring to you guys sitting at home. Also want to thank River's Edge Bar and Grill. They're known for offering the best happy hour in town, providing unbeatable deals in a lively atmosphere. They are located in Williston, North Dakota. Guests can also enjoy a variety of entertaining activities, including bingo, trivia, and the very popular Name That Tune. Come on down to River's Edge for great drinks, great food, and great fun. And then it's Glosso Angus, a proud sponsor of Swim Lessons, the podcast. They are your premier source for registered Black Angus cattle since 1973. Glosso Angus cattle showcase dominance, durability, and docility, and they're built to thrive on the northern plains. Check them out. That's Glosso, Glasoe, Angus.com. Hey, folks, also make sure you check out Plains Window Cleaning, interior and exterior window cleaning on residential and commercial buildings throughout North Dakota. Call Jacob today at 701-609-0405. Again, that's Jacob Broughton at Plains Window Cleaning. Appreciate all those sponsors. Don't forget about PSP Network. And hey, we'll see you on TV someday down the road after this podcast. But Darin Mattern, all-time dude, all-time coach. Enjoy this one. I know I did. Coach, you were just telling me an excellent story. Wentz played for you?
Yeah. Decided to come out for basketball as a senior, and we ended up winning the state championship that year. And,
what?
And without him, I think we have our hands full because our rival across town, Bismarck High, had a player by the name of Dexter Werner. Mm-hmm. You probably remember the name. And, Carson was a pretty good matchup for him. And so obviously with his size and athleticism, he was just a tremendous asset to the team that year.
What was he like as a player for you?
Yeah, he was just a phenomenal defender. And as you know, with me, I kind of tend to lean on that end of the floor first and foremost. So he was one of those kids, he could guard the 1 through 5. It was crazy. And he'd get out there and chase those point guards around, and that if they had a big physical 5, he'd guard them. And in every rebound he'd get, when the ball was up on the glass, he usually would get it. And very good passer. And he got better as a scorer as the year went on. And I think one of the biggest assets he brought to the table was his leadership, and just a tremendous leader and a high character kid, very, very good student. And no, he was a pretty good pickup.
If you had a crystal ball, is that what you imagine he would have done? Is went to NDSU and then you become the second overall pick?
Well, it's kind of a funny story, Dallas, because I can remember sitting in the gym at a Christmas practice, and Brent Began, at that time, was the offensive coordinator at North Dakota State.
Mm-hmm.
And Carson didn't have a lot of offers at the time, and I think Central Michigan might have been the only other school. And Coach Vegan showed up at our practice over Christmas break, and just to watch Carson, because he hadn't signed at that time. And this is after his senior year of football. And we ended up visiting after practice, and he kind of asked me what my thoughts were. And I said, well, I don't know a whole lot about football, but I do know one thing: this kid's a winner. So I guess the rest is kind of history.
That's awesome. And also in the cafeteria where I met you, or the commons area, those banners for Nisley. I mean, back-to-back player of the year, Gatorade player of the year. So she won as a junior and a senior. Now she's at Nebraska. What was she like in high school?
Just a tremendous player. And, it's kind of a story. I always say basketball is an honest sport.
Yeah.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Yeah.
And that kid lived in the gym. And she wasn't going to get outworked, and she definitely deserves where she's at, and she's having another tremendous season for the Huskers, and they actually play tonight, so I'll probably get home and watch that. But a high character kid, good student, hard worker, and multi-sport athlete, and just a winner.
Well, you've got her brother on the team. He's a really nice player. I mean, I said this to Nate Zachman, who was doing color commentary with me when we had you guys on PSP. Silky smooth. Fantastic shooter. Unfortunately, at night we saw him, he was a little under the weather, but I mean, the sky's the limit for him too.
Yeah, I mean, he's another gym rat, loves to play, just like I said, just wants to be in the gym, and he's going to get better when he matures. I think he's a late maturing kid, and when he builds his body up, gets a little bit stronger, I think his game is going to blossom. So, we expect a lot out of him down the stretch here this year, but going into the summer and next fall, we think we can put some good weight on him, and I think his game can really take off.
Speaking of strength, how about Gibby Kinnebrew? I mean, my God, the dunks, the rebounds, the scoring. He's just a sophomore, but I mean, just a Hulk out there. I call him a big brute. Like, he just eats.
Yeah, Gibby's a hard worker. I mean, he gets up 4:35 a.m. a lot of times before school.
No way.
In the summer, and he'll go to the weight room and work out, and he puts in the time, and that's not natural bulk there. He's putting in the time to get better, and I have a lot of respect for kids like that are willing to pay the price and sacrifice and do things that are going to make you better. And we have to be careful as a coaching staff because he's young, he's a sophomore, and he's going to have some growing pains, and I got to remind myself of that sometimes. But he's got a tremendous ceiling, and he's only going to get better. And when you're a high character kid and you got a great work ethic, you're going to improve, and that's definitely going to be the case with him.
Well, a kid that's really improved for you. Excuse me, a kid that's really improved for you is Kemple. I mean, fantastic one guard. I was telling you before we hopped on, when he gets going, it's like he's going downhill towards the basket. Hard to teach that. A lot of strength with that. He's going to play at Minot State. Thoughts on your senior?
Well, he's the thing I like about Drew, he's a willing passer. He's not concerned about stats. He's not concerned about anything other than winning. And, if you're open, you better have your hands ready because he's going to get you the ball. And we really appreciate that with Drew as our senior leader, getting other people involved. Because I think right now, just looking at the latest stats, I think we have 5 guys in double figures. And, a lot of that has to do with Drew's unselfishness. And, just a tremendous kid, a gym rat. And, I think he's built for the next level. So I think Minot State's definitely getting a good one there. And, it's going to be interesting to follow him. But I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit, and then I'm just going to enjoy, next couple of weeks with him, and hopefully he can carry us a little bit on a tournament run.
Well, speaking of a great run, 300th win the other night. Take us back, though, because 300 wins is tough to accomplish. Congratulations. But when did you first become a coach, and you were like, okay, I like this gig. This is going to take me a ways?
Well, it's you get done playing, and obviously playing at the University of Mary was a great experience. I just loved the game, and then you ask yourself, okay, well, I can't play anymore, so what's the closest thing to that? And that's being a coach. So, I stayed on at the University of Mary as a grad assistant after I finished my playing career, and spent 2 years out there as a grad assistant, and then I actually got on staff at Bismarck High School. So my first 14 years were as an assistant coach under Steve Miller at Bismarck High School. So
I had no idea.
Yeah, so that was a tremendous experience. A lot of great teams, a lot of great athletes, a lot of great families, a lot of great memories. Coach Wilhelm obviously was a player of mine. Coach Etzel over at St. Mary's, another player. So, you start coaching against some of your former players. It's a pretty neat experience. So I spent 14 years over there, and now this is my 16th year as the head coach at Century High School. So 30 years in the WDA. It's been a heck of an experience, and
blood pressure.
Yeah, it's been a good run, and it's been a lot of fun.
So, okay, walk me through when you left Bismarck High to come to Century, because that had to have been a tough decision.
Well, it was kind of a situation where, after 14 years as an assistant coach, you're kind of looking for some growth as a coach, and the next step for me was to be a head coach. And obviously, Coach Miller, with all the success he's had in the state of North Dakota as a coach, I knew at that time, he still had some years left to coach. So I had to look for other opportunities, and fortunately for me, I didn't have to go very far, and there was an opening at Century, and I was able to get that job, and the rest is kind of history.
What was your first year like?
First year was a great experience. We had very good kids, hard workers, but it was different. You're trying to create your own culture. You're trying to establish your offense and defensive system, and so everything's new to them. So, no, it was a lot of fun. I think we ended up getting 5th in the state tournament. So it was a great experience, and you always kind of remember your first team, and a lot of those guys I still stay in contact with, and they kind of set the bar for the teams to come. And but no, it was anytime you're at a place for 14 years, a place that's had a lot of success. It was different, but I thought it was perfect timing for me, career-wise, to make that jump and kind of create my own path as a basketball coach.
When you take over a program like this, what's the first step you want to install to be like, okay, this is my program, this is my baby, I get to go as far as I want to take it? So what was your first steps in instilling this program? Well,
I think no matter where you go, I think number one, you have to create your own culture. And you have to create an identity, and you have to decide as a basketball coach what going to be your identity. And I've always said as a basketball coach, our identity is going to be our team defense and our toughness, and that's kind of where we started. And the kids bought in, and to have any successful high school athletes, you got to have good kids, and you got to have good families, good parents, and you got to have a lot of support. And at my time at Century, we've had great kids, great parents. The administration has been tremendous. And like I said, in order to do this for an extended period of time, you got to have support from a lot of different people. And like I said, I can't thank administration and parents and my former players enough for me to still be doing this.
Well, speaking of support, you coach with your son, and that doesn't happen in every program. How special has that been to be not able his coach, but now you get to coach with him, so now he's a colleague of yours?
Yeah, I probably don't think about it a whole lot right now. I think it's probably going to take for me to step away and kind of be away from it to realize that it was a special experience. Because right now you're just trying to get to the next day. You're as you know, as a former coach, you're just in survival mode, and that's not one of my strengths, Dallas, to really enjoy
the moment.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Maybe you enjoy the moment enough, and that's a fault of mine. And I'm worried about, okay, are we prepared? Are we doing the right things? Are we ready to go for the next game? And that's kind of how my brain works. And but no, it's been tremendous to have Trayton on staff. I love to have my former players on staff just because they know our culture, they know our system, they know how things work, they know our drills, and Trayton was a pretty good player himself, so I think he's got the respect factor from the kids. So no, it's been awesome, and he also teaches with me in the same office. So
what?
Yeah. So
hey, folks, hope you are enjoying this episode. But support for Swim Lessons, the podcast, comes from Brandon Weber, your Edward Jones financial advisor at 1600 2nd Avenue Southeast, Minot, North Dakota. For more information, visit edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
That's been pretty cool. And like I said, it's probably going to sink in a little bit more when I step away, but for now, it's just been a tremendous experience to have him around.
Well, I mean, I guess when you were answering that, I was thinking of Dean Winchesky and Eric Winchesky. How was it to coach your son? I mean, because this is a tough league, and there's a lot of outside pressure, but you also have created this great program and kind of on this great run. But to coach your kid at this level, that had to have been not easy.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of tough love.
Yeah.
And I think he understood that he was going to be treated like any other player. And just a kid that was really able to get it, just to understand the big picture and understand the emotions behind it and understand, what I'm trying to do. And, he just put in a lot of time, prepared himself. And, when you do that, I think you have a chance for success. And, he was able to do that. Trayton played in a couple state championship games in his career and another semifinal. And, so it was a great run for him, and like I said, it was a lot of fun coaching him. I will say it's probably a little more stressful than just coaching other kids, but at the end of the day, when you look back and when you step away from things, it's a pretty cool experience.
How about Mason Claybo? I mean, last night breaking on in Moody's record, it was 2,192 points. Not an easy task to do. Your thoughts on the record last night?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Dallas, because I actually sent Mason a text message today because one of the biggest things in our program we really talk about a lot is you need to be happy for somebody else's success. And
that is spot on.
Yeah, we really emphasize that in our program, whether that success is a teammate or brother, sister, family member, whatever the case may be. Be happy for somebody else's success. And so I sent Mason a text today just congratulating him on the milestone and, all the adversity he's been able to play through.
Injury was insane.
It's just incredible what he's been able to overcome and the numbers he's been able to put up. And I told him in the text message, I said, not only the milestone that impresses me, it's the way you carry yourself with your teammates, the way you act on and off the court, because I've got to know him a little bit. Bart's a good friend of mine. I've got to know Mason off the court just through team camps and et cetera. And, just a good kid. So, very happy for him. And it's just incredible when you think about how many baskets that is.
That's a ton.
It's incredible. So, congratulations to him again. It's just an unbelievable feat.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch that video, I can't help but get emotional. I'm a basketball soul was like excited for him. You see the crowd erupt. Bart comes out and tell us a little bit about Bart because I know him through basketball,
right.
and I believe he was a roommate with Rob Stefanowicz at NDSU, which he's from Divide County.
Correct.
So I kind of know a little bit about him. But what's he like as a coach?
Oh, Bart's a very good guy. I kind of grew up with the Mansons, being from Surrey, and they were from Minot, so we spent a lot of time together, very similar in age, not only Bart, but his older brother, Ross. Just a very solid family. Obviously, you got to know Gene very well over the years, legendary coach at Minot High.
Yeah.
Just a good, solid family, good people, and Bart's gonna have his team ready come postseason, like always. He does a fabulous job preparing his team, and when you got a player of that caliber, obviously it makes it very difficult to prepare for them. But at the end of the day, you're going to go out and battle and prepare as best you can, and let the chips fall where they may.
That brings us to this year's WDA. Very tight. You said this before, it's always tight, but this year you get the feeling like there's kind of that group 2 through 6 where you just don't know what's going to happen. Your thoughts on the WDA thus far?
Well, I get a kick out of that because, as I mentioned earlier, Dallas, this is year 30. And
you've seen it all.
And I hear the same question every year. Boy, that WDA is going to be tight. I said, well, it's been tight for the last 29 years too.
Right.
We just have so many rivalries in this league, and it's a lot of tremendous coaches, and no game is ever easy. I mean, it's just you're playing teams for the third time, and everybody knows everybody's tendencies. There's not a lot of secrets. Everybody knows all your sets, so you're not going to trick anybody. It just basically comes down to execution and making correct plays at the right time. And you try to prepare your team as best you can, but at the end of the day, it's 1 or 2 possessions, and that's a big emphasis every year. You got to play every possession because you never know the one that's going to be the difference. And I don't anticipate it being any different this year. And we got a couple obviously tough regular season games to end this year's regular season with Minot High and Bismarck High, and then into the postseason. But like I said, it's I anticipate every game being very competitive, and like I said, I think everybody in this region is pretty excited for the tournament.
How great is this year's senior class in WDA? I mean, you got the Shell Kid, Winchesky, Kemple, Farker, Falcon. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because I was just looking at the stats yesterday, and this doesn't happen very often where you look at just scoring. I think the top 10 in the league are seniors. So when you look at that just shows you the talent level in this year's senior class. So there's a lot of individual players out there that can carry their team on any given night. And obviously, if you're playing against teams like that, it can be scary. So just an overall tremendous senior class, and it's going to be interesting to. I mean, we got to figure out as WDA coaches how to whittle this down to get to get a Lions team.
That's what I was just going to say.
And there's going to be some very good players left out, unfortunately. Yep. Because I think we got to get down to 6, and I was looking at that and I was like, whoa, this is going to be tough, and there's going to be some good kids left off, and just a deep class, and it's going to make for a very exciting tournament.
Well, how about the Widener kid from Dickinson High? He comes out of nowhere, shoots the 3-point ball exceptionally well, and then he guards the best player on each team. I mean, night in and night out.
Yeah, I told you off air, Dallas, I just really like his game.
Me too.
Yeah, he's one of those players that plays at all 3 levels, and he's hard to speed up. That's one of the biggest things I've noticed about him. He plays at a very comfortable pace, and he makes really good decisions, and when he scores the ball and he's shooting it at a high level, he's really hard to guard. And the thing I appreciate about him, Dallas, is I see him as a 2-way player.
Yeah.
You said it best, is he's guarding the other team's best player, and kudos to him, because that's a tough feat when you're expected to score at a high clip and then go to the other end and guard the other team's best player. That's not an easy task. And Coach Glazer's put a lot on his plate, and I think he's responded very well with it. And like I said, I just really like his game, and I think he's had a tremendous senior year to this point.
By the way, shout out to the WDA and their website. Like you were referring to a few times, the stats are always spot on. I don't know who runs that, but that makes broadcasters and everybody's life a lot easier. So isn't it? It's the best. Yeah. The East Side doesn't have that.
Yeah, Matt Maloney does a very good job with it, and
wow, yeah.
Like I said, I don't know how he does it, but you can get home from a game and start surfing the site, and he's got everything updated. So, yeah, he just does a tremendous job, and it's just a great resource to go figure out what's going on in our league.
Shout out Matt Milano. Is that what you said?
Yep, Matt
Appreciate
Milano.
Your services.
Yep.
Okay, so before this year, you and your coaching staff got together, and you're the 1 seed now, but it always wasn't like that. What was your points of emphasis coming into this year as a team? Because you knew you had some talent, but the way you guys have played this year has been very good. So what was the points of emphasis before the season started?
I would say it's pretty consistent with us. One, you got to build a guard. And I think, and I say it all the time, defense travels.
Yeah.
Defense travels. You got to build a guard on the road in this league. If you're sporadic defensively, you're going to struggle and you're going to have a difficult time winning games. So first and foremost, team defense. And then secondly, we talk about being consistent in half-court offense. You have to be able to run solid half-court offense. Teams are so good by the end of the year, taking away your break, taking away transition. You just don't get a lot of easy baskets. So you have to be able to settle in and run good half-court solid offense to be successful. And I've said it for years, and I'll keep saying it. Team defense and half-court offense are going to be the two things that are going to be. They're going to determine if we're going to advance in the tournament coming up here shortly.
What's the name of the tall guy in your coaching staff with dark hair?
Doug Swenson.
I like that guy a lot. I like Doug. What's Doug like?
Doug's from Halliday.
Really?
Yeah. Doug played
you
at
just
Halliday.
Dominate down there?
Well, Doug played at Halliday and then kind of a late bloomer. Played in a couple Class B state tournaments.
Wow.
And then he went to BSC for 2 years. And then he actually finished his career at Creighton.
No way.
Yeah, and he played for the legendary coach Dana Altman.
Yeah.
At Creighton for 2 years. Played in an NCAA tournament.
No way.
Won a game in the NCAA tournament against Louisville.
Wow.
So, yeah, Doug's been a great addition to our staff. He just loves the game, and if you want to ever talk shop, Doug's the guy.
Yeah.
I have a hard time getting out of here before midnight on game nights because I can't get home because he's always got a handful of stories. But I think first and foremost with Doug, it's just a high character guy. Just a solid human being. He does a great job with the kids. Great sounding board. And he's been there. He's been through it. He gets it. He understands, how things work in this game as far as emotions and game adjustments and just everything that goes along with being a player. So he's a lot of fun, and not only Trayton and Doug, but I've got a staff that has been with me for a lot of years here at Century. Jordan Williams has been another staff member of mine who's my JV coach. He's been with me for 15 of my 16 years. Also does a tremendous job with the kids. So overall, our coaching staff works very, very hard, and I greatly appreciate all of them.
Do you buy into the statement where a head coach is only as good as his assistant?
Oh, I 100% agree with that because I've been on both sides of the fence. You gotta have a good staff because you gotta have an opportunity and confidence to delegate to other members.
The
of your
game's
staff.
coming so fast.
Yeah, there's just so much going on, and with everything nowadays outside of basketball, you got to have your assistant step up and be productive. And I think we got a pretty good balance with our staff, and I say all the time, I'm going to listen to you, but I'm not always going to agree with you, and I think they respect that, and it's just a group that you spend so much time with. They're like family. I mean, you spend more time with your coaches during the season than you spend with your own family, so it's important that you connect and you're able to get along and. Like I said, this is just a great group to be around on a daily basis.
What can we expect from the Patriots come tournament time defensively?
Well, as always, it's going to be a high expectation. We'll get after it. I think our kids have improved throughout the course of the season as far as understanding game planning, expectations as far as game planning, and that takes some time. Because Dallas, we only have one starter back.
No way, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Kempel's the only starter from last year's team. So
Kennebrew didn't start. I suppose a freshman,
Yep.
Nisley didn't start.
Nisley came off the bench last year.
Holy smokes.
Kennebrew played time sparingly off the bench last year. So, we had to grow up a little bit this year And, I think, it's a group that has a high basketball IQ. And I think we can, throughout the course of the year, we've been able to expand our game plan a little bit, which helps. And, I feel very comfortable with our defensive team just because we got a lot of flexibility with our team. I think we have a lot of guys that can guard multiple positions, and obviously that helps. And they really like to play hard, and that's half the battle. So I'm excited. Defensively, I think we're going to be fine. Tournament basketball just comes down to, can you make shots?
Right.
And you never know that until the official throws the ball up. But this is a group of kids that loves to play, and they'll be ready.
So I've asked every coach this question, but I know you got a few games left in the regular season, but take me to next week. Take me inside your mind. You're walking through the Civic Center. You're walking into the locker room. What is going to be your speech to the team?
It will be the same as every year. Just understand that this is a process, and you guys have put your time in. The hay's in the barn, quote unquote, and if you feel good about the process, and then when I say the process, that's the 21 games that you've played throughout the course of the season. That's every practice that you've went through throughout the course of the season, and every single practice and every single game to this point has been you've had a workmanlike attitude, and you prepared yourself to the best of your ability. So when you get to a tournament game, you don't have to change a whole lot. I mean, we're not going to show up at the Civic Center and have to flip a switch and do things that we're not comfortable in doing. We're just going to continue to do what we have been doing, and that mindset is to play one possession at a time. And I like to use that Dallas year in and year out. It's kind of Mike Krzyzewski saying one possession at a time, and don't look at the prize at the end, because that's too overwhelming. When you look at the prize at the end, that's just too much for kids to handle. So what can we control that's going to be less overwhelming? And that's a one possession at a time mentality. And that's the kind of approach we will take, because in reality, that's all you can control anyway. So let's go down and get a stop on this possession, and let's come back on offense and have a good quality offensive possession. And then, like I said, we'll just worry about the next possession, and that's how we're going to handle things.
Beautifully said, Coach Mattern. Okay, swim lessons. Believe it or not, we've been on this for 28 minutes already. Time flies when you're having fun. But Swim Lessons Coach is a podcast about overcoming tough times. You personally, as a coach, I'm sure there's been ups and downs. But leave us with something. What's something you can share with somebody who's listening online when your back was against the wall, the chips weren't falling as you'd like them to, and you said something to yourself to get through that dark room?
Well, I just think as a basketball coach, you just always have to have a belief, and you have to believe in what you do. And whether that's after a tough loss, a game that maybe you should have won and you didn't, maybe it's a 2-game losing streak, 3-game losing streak, whatever the case may be, you just have to stick with the process. And I'm a big process guy. Stay with it. Believe in yourself. Believe in your kids. Because I think if you have that mentality, you can turn things around and you can flip it. I always tell young coaches, and I consider myself an old coach now, I always tell young coaches, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just stay with what you believe in, because there's going to be a lot of outside influences. And you got to do what you believe in. You got to do what is right for you and what's right for your team. And if you do that, I think you got a chance to get better. And basketball is a game of mistakes. And I say this all the time. A game of mistakes, and the team that makes the fewest mistakes is the team that usually wins. So any advice I'd give, again, is just stay with it. Stay with the process, and just have self-belief. I mean, you got to believe in yourself, because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to.
Awesome. Great answer. One of my favorite. Okay. Give us a quick plug. Where can people follow Century Basketball and follow this journey you guys are on social media, whatever it might be?
Okay. We have, and I don't know if you know about my social media background a lot, or not Dallas, but I've got...
It's pretty high.
I've got zero social media, so I don't even know what half the stuff is out there, but As far as Century Basketball, you can follow Century Basketball on Century Boys Basketball Facebook. And as far as I know, that's
PSP. Make sure to watch it on PSP.
PSP has been tremendous. And
what's your thoughts on PSP, honestly?
Well, it's incredible. We talk about it all the time. I mean, we feel like we're a ESPN team. I mean,
Holberg does a great job.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was about a 7-8 game stretch we were on every night. So, people that can't make it to games and North Dakota weather, I probably wouldn't want to go out in some of these with some of these frigid temperatures either. So, PSB has been tremendous, and I get a lot of text messages from people. Is the game going to be on PSP tonight? And so like I said, the coverage has been tremendous. You guys have been tremendous. I think it's greatly appreciated, not only by our program, but just people around the state of North Dakota as well. And I hear a lot of people talking about it. So it's been tremendous. And you guys keep up the good work.
Awesome. Well, speaking of tremendous, this was tremendous. Greatly appreciate your time. I know you're a busy cat this time of year, but thank you. And appreciate it. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Dallas. Thanks for your time.
That's a wrap, Coach Mattern.